We'll work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Brian Clark State Farm offers a range of insurance products to fit your unique needs and give you a peace of mind. Our dedicated team helps you find the perfect policy to safeguard your biggest investments. Brian Clark State Farm can steer you in the right direction on auto insurance, and we've got your home covered from natural disasters to unexpected accidents. Contact me, State Farm Agent Brian Clark, at 217-732-6211 or visit sfinsurelincoln.com. Go Railers!
Sports fans, welcome to the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM. We are streaming live on the web. Go to YouTube, watch our live broadcast. Listen to us on the radio or download that Mixler app and listen to us on the go. We are broadcasting live from Lincoln Community High School for the annual Lincoln Shootout. Getting ready to kick off here today, and we have some special guests with us this morning. We have some members of the Logan Correctional Center, and we got Josh Marine, Colton Amberg, Abby Ingram, and Eric McNamara. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for having us.
No problem. We will talk some sports, but we're gonna jump right into it right now. The good old state of Illinois, at it again, wanting to close correctional center, the Logan County Correctional Center, and now there's two prisons out there,
yes.
Lincoln, Logan, and what's Logan Correctional? Who do they house? Is it?
So right now, Logan Correctional Center is housing our female population for the state. So the state of Illinois has 27 adult institutions. Okay, 24 of those deal with men. 3 of them deal with females. Okay, Logan Correctional Center, Decatur Correctional Center, and Fox Valley is our work release and everything. So basically, if you take 24 of the male facilities and all the stuff that they deal with across the state of Illinois, Logan Correctional Center deals with all of that inside one fence. Okay. So we are like a one-stop shop. Everybody that's a female in the state of Illinois comes through Logan at some point. Then of course right across basically a little roadway is Lincoln Correctional Center. And again, Logan's been around a little bit longer than Lincoln. Lincoln opened, I believe, is 86, 87, something like that. And it deals with minimum security males. Logan actually opened in January 1978. And we've gone through many different changes over the years. Originally, for quite a few years, Logan actually housed men and women together. Actually, when I started out there, I've been out there coming up on 25 years. And when I started out there in 1999, we actually housed males and females together.
Wow.
Yeah. Brilliant
that's
idea.
Gotta be, yeah, that's
brilliant
a
idea.
difficult situation right
yes,
there.
it definitely was.
We don't talk about those, dudes.
Yeah, no, it was definitely an experience.
Yeah.
because when I started there, I was a kid. I was 19 years old, and coming out there. But again, I was lucky enough to be around that environment, because my dad started out there in January '78 when it actually opened. So I kind of knew what I was getting into going into that job. But then again, 19 years old, going into an environment like that with men and women together, it definitely
couldn't imagine. I've never been around it, and I've had friends that work out there. People you talk to, and it's a tough gig.
Absolutely, and that's one thing with that prison being here in a community the size that we have here, Lincoln, surrounding Logan County and surrounding counties and everything else, it's hard to find somebody that does not know somebody.
Right, absolutely.
That is employed out there or know somebody, a family, a friend, or something like that. This is honestly one of the last things we have around here that employs so many people in this area, and that's why one of the big reasons we are trying to get this information out there is because of the impact that this will have if they do go through with that. Far beyond the 700 employees that we have out there, the impact that will be felt in the community is far beyond that with the secondary employment, families, friends, and all that stuff that goes along with that as well too.
Yeah, and it's we talked a little bit off air. You and Abby, you've grown up with the prison system, since you guys were born, little, and it's just a way of life. It's a good job.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's good pay. But like you said, the impact it has on the community. We've already taken a big impact losing Lincoln College,
huge,
Lincoln Christian College, which we're seeing it now, and to lose a prison and just the revenue that brings in, the people that own houses in Logan County, not going to have a job, so they'll have to relocate, and it will be, Lloyd, detrimental to the community.
Yeah, it will. And we've seen this in the past. As somebody, I went to Lincoln College. My son went to Lincoln College, and so the community connection that this brings it connects to all those different things. With those closures, the impact that had was tremendous. So to add this on top of that is something that I don't want to say the community can't rebound from, because when we come together we can accomplish amazing things, and that's what we are trying to do here, is come together and bring the community together to accomplish something amazing, to stop something that could be so detrimental. So I don't want to say that we can't rebound from it, but this will be a hit on the community that we haven't felt since the closure of Lincoln Developmental Center.
Right.
And that closure was crippling to this community.
And I think when was that?
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
Okay.
2001, when it was all finalized. Of course, it takes a while for that kind of stuff to happen. And the proposal that's on the table now, it could be up to a 5-year proposal for everything to go through. But again, things like that can change overnight. It can go from a 5-year proposal to we got 6 months.
Now, what is the reasoning? Is it financial? Is it? I mean, what are they telling you?
So, and you guys can support me on this too. But the reasoning behind it is, in all honesty, it's kind of an unknown, because some of the stuff that has been presented to us, as far as the reasoning behind it, has already been negated. A lot of it has. And one thing I will say about the COCFA hearing that we got coming up is going to be extremely important to deal with this, to get that information out there. But some of the original proposals from the department, from the governor's office and everything else, on the reason why some of them are in support of it, because not everybody's even in support of this, And of course, a lot of people have jobs that they have to basically play their role, whether they agree with it or don't agree with it. They have to be political. Absolutely. But I have talked to quite a few of them, because like I said, I've been out, in this job for coming up on 25 years, so I know a lot of people that are involved in the administrative level, and a lot of them know that the impact that this is going to have on this community and that's going to affect them. But the reasoning behind it is for resources, supposedly. Okay, resources that could be provided to our individual custody population. Okay. the population that we serve out there. Because, and one thing I would try to remind a lot of our staff members is we're employed by the Illinois Department of Corrections, okay? So at the end of the day, I have a job to do. I don't always agree with everything that I'm asked to do, but as long as it doesn't, contradict my moral character, I will carry out what I'm asked to do. So with the stuff that they are proposing in there, dealing with some of the reasoning behind it for the things that they could offer to our individual custody population, is, in my opinion, been misrepresented. Okay, they talk about one of the letters that was sent out to the COCFA Commission on reasoning behind it was the opportunity that they have to provide resources for the individual custody population as far as schooling and rehabilitation stuff and everything else. And we are all for that, okay? But a lot of that is here and at a greater level, in my opinion. The diversity that was sent out by the department as far as a diverse pool of staff members that they could draw from was one of the big things that was sent out by the Department of Corrections. And in all honesty, I did not like how it was represented, okay, because it was talking about the diverse pool that was from Will County compared to Logan County, because that's, where they're trying to move this facility, Joliet, Illinois, which is Will County and stuff. And one of the things that was mentioned in there was the diverse pool that they can draw from for staff. Well, that's the same place that Stateville Correctional Center is now, okay? And Stateville Correctional Center, as a lot of people know, is already being closed. Okay, so if the opportunity did present itself there, that we have such a great opportunity for a diverse pool of staff, then why on earth are we closing Stateville Correctional Center? That makes no sense to me. If this is such a great opportunity, why is that one already on the chopping block? No discussion being had. They basically were told they're done. Okay, and I deal with, out of the prison, I deal with recruitment. I help with some of that. I deal with our screening process and getting new hires, and I also deal with our new hires as far as I'm an instructor technically for the training academy, but I'm stationed out of Logan Correctional Center. So all new hires come through me for training and different things. Whether it be security, non-security, doesn't matter. And up north is where we are seeing our biggest issues with staffing. Our highest turnover rate is in the northern counties.
Right.
Stateville's one of the top ones. And it's hard to keep staff up there for multiple different reasons. Okay, so up there, the cost of living in Will County compared to Logan County and surrounding counties. It's unbelievable. It's the housing market is about double. Okay, so the amount of money the Department of Corrections, because it doesn't change how much we pay employees based on what county you're hired in. This is what you get paid.
This is what you get.
This is what you get.
Yeah.
All right. So my money here in Logan County goes a lot farther than it does in Will County.
Absolutely.
So I'm not even saying that this is like a detriment to the thought process of those that work up north. I understand. Okay, because the amount of money the department's paying me up there doesn't go as far. It's almost entry-level type jobs up there to provide. So they're having a hard time dealing with that already. So that doesn't make sense to me, the employment opportunity up north.
Well, it sounds like a slap in the face to downstaters.
It really was.
Because, let's move everything to Chicago.
Yes.
Here's an idea. Let's take I-80, everything off I-80. We'll just split Illinois.
Yeah.
And let us do our thing down here, and it's so frustrating, when you have a governor in office that is all Chicago, and we won't get into the politics of it because I would probably get in trouble.
Me too.
You would get in trouble. we may, I don't know if we lose any viewers because we only have a handful anyway. But
and we appreciate all you guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely, appreciate all you
but
guys.
that's a whole different topic there.
Yeah.
But it just it's frustrating.
Yes.
Because Lincoln's a great community.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
And you can bring your kids up here. We have I don't know how many junior highs and grade schools that feed into the high school, and like you said, that's going to take a hit.
Absolutely.
And it's it's hard to even fathom the outcome, and it sounds to me that they don't even have an end game. They're just throwing this out there. They don't have a plan. They're throwing this out. Hey, let's just close Logan Correctional, and we'll sort it out later. You said there's only 3 facilities that house female inmates.
Yes.
So what's their end game with all these inmates from Logan Correctional? Where do you send
Exactly. So now, don't get me wrong. With some of this stuff, I kind of understand, and I told staff this from the beginning, where if the department would have came to us and said, "Hey, we need to do something with this facility," they would have got no argument from us.
No, we need a new facility.
Yes, absolutely. They got no argument from us. Okay, we're talking about a facility that originally was open to help support Lincoln Developmental Center. Okay, so it originally started being built in the mid-1920s. Okay, as the farm annex for Lincoln Developmental Center, and eventually that population here in town for the Lincoln Developmental Center grew to about 4,000 residents, and it couldn't sustain itself back in the 1920s. And so what they did is they opened up the farm annex, and they used it to raise, livestock and fields for corn and different things like that to help sustain the population there. So we're talking about a facility. A lot of the buildings we have out there are from that era.
Yeah.
The mid-1920s to the 1930s. A lot of those.
Upgrade.
Absolutely. And none of us would have argued that, okay? But we're also talking about a facility that, in surrounding area, we're about 150 acres out there, okay? And we use less than 50 acres for the facility itself. So there's all kinds of opportunity. And we've already been doing work on some of the infrastructure on that. In the last couple of years, we spent like over $100 million.
Yes.
All right, out there through different grants and aid and stuff like that, through a lot of federal government involved with that as well. So we're not going to argue the fact that something needs to be done, okay? So if they would have came to us originally and said, hey, this population needs some help, we're on board. If they would have said, we're looking at the north, the central, and the southern part of the state to create more of a mirror to the men's division where they do more individualized programming in different areas to deal with different things, I couldn't even had a big argument for that, okay? Because, we need programming, and the beauty of corrections is we need to deal with the discipline aspect. People that are housed there for a reason, committed a crime, they have to do their time and everything else. But what we are trying to do, and we actually have a staff out there that are so good at this, is try to rehabilitate the individuals as well.
Yes.
All right? Because while they're there, yes, they are there for discipline first, but now what we are trying to do is provide pathways out of the environments in which they are in to become better individuals, citizens, neighbors. Because
not
the
come
people,
back to us.
Yes, not come back to us. And about over 50%, I believe, within 2 years will be back into society. Okay, so a lot of the people we deal with out there are going to be our neighbors, and we actually have a lot of people that are incarcerated out there whose families come here for closer proximity. Absolutely, because especially in the female division, family's incredibly important. Okay, that connection to that, but that is stuff that it took us years to figure out.
And we fought for that.
Yes.
To get there.
Yes. At the beginning, yes. In the beginning, 2013, when we first found out, Eric went through the closure of Dwight Correctional Center. So he had been through this, and he can attest to the bumps and bruises that you take And relocating a facility like this is incredible. It is damaging to the individuals in custody.
They went through hell the first couple of years. So did the staff. Went through hell the first couple of years. Because it was a learning curve for all the staff. They had no idea how to deal with female inmates.
Right.
One day they're a male prison. Next day they wake up and they're at a female prison. You don't talk to a female inmate the same way you do a male inmate.
Right.
No, not at all. And that's one of the things I'm lucky enough to deal with now is the training in that. That took us years to develop.
Yeah.
Through trial and error. Okay, and we went through all the hardships. We paid the price to provide a product now. In all honesty, there's all kinds of negativity surrounding the Department of Corrections. You know, you Google the Illinois Department of Corrections, I promise you're not getting glowing reviews on Google. Okay, it's just not the way it is because negative sells, number one.
Right.
Yeah.
Negative sells. But I also promise you that if you come out to Logan Correctional Center, and I tell all of our new staff there, you know, I always ask the question, how many of you guys have looked up Logan Correctional Center prior to coming out here and saw something negative? And almost at 100%. Yep, me, and I saw these stories and stuff like that. I said, I promise you one thing. When we walk around, because I do a tour with all of our new staff, you will see way more positive out here on a daily basis than any negative that you will ever see. I've seen lives change for the better. But that took us years to accomplish, to deal with that population. Right. You know, we went through all the growing pains of that and everything, and now there's not a better equipped staff in the state of Illinois. So the idea that the department, the governor's office, wants to take this population and place it in an area where none of that exists.
Nope.
It's going to restart. And they've already had meetings with our individuals in custody out there. And right now, I know a lot of those individuals because prior to me being an instructor out there, I was in our clinical services where I dealt with the counseling aspect as well. And I actually got to teach a lot of programming stuff for the individuals and stuff. And I got to know a lot of them on a lot of different levels to deal with them. And lucky enough to be able to communicate with them on a level to know the kind of stuff to be able to provide the type of program that I need to provide. I need to know who I'm providing to.
It's very unique.
Yeah, very unique.
Yes.
And now we have the training that allows us to accomplish this. We have that out there, and we have a staff out there that is committed to that. You know, that want to see them better, because again, we're going to see these people in our communities.
Right.
You know, they're coming back to us, and I can't tell you how many times I've been out in the community, and you know, it's not too often that I have a friend of mine when I'm walking into a store yell Counselor Marine. Doesn't happen very often. So when I get that yelled across the parking lot, pretty sure I know where I'm dealing with right now. Okay, and 100% of the time I've had that happen has been nothing but a positive interaction.
Same here.
100%. You know, because we have staff that honestly, despite all the stories you might see on Google, that care about what we do out there, you know, because this honestly is a thankless job. It really is. It's not too often you get called out there saying, hey, you did a great job today. You know, it's not too often does that happen.
Never. I mean,
never. I've never been called by a supervisor like, hey, you did a heck of a job signing out your chow line.
Right.
It's just never happened to me, right?
Yeah, you don't get the accolades when you do something good, but if you do something bad, they're right on.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, 100%.
I tell you what, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and we'll talk more on how you're progressing and who you're talking with, and then how the community can get involved to help you guys out. All right, so let's take a break. We'll be back after these messages.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln.
Brian Clark State Farm offers a range of insurance products to fit your unique needs and give you a peace of mind. Our dedicated team helps you find the perfect policy to safeguard your biggest investments. Brian Clark State Farm can steer you in the right direction on auto insurance, and we've got your home covered from natural disasters to unexpected accidents. Contact me, State Farm Agent Brian Clark, at 217-732-6211 or visit sfinsurelincoln.com. Go Railers!
This is Chloe Froby from the 2024 Lady Railers State Champion Basketball Team, and you're listening to Cheap Seats on WLCN.
to the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM, broadcasting live from Lincoln Community High School as they get set for the annual Lincoln Shootout here. Being former coaches or coaches now, seeing all the white and black stripes, does that make you kind of, get right back into it? We got I don't know, about 20, 25, 30 referees out here getting ready for the day. Gonna ref some basketball. So all you basketball fanatics, get on out here today. Come out, watch your next future Lincoln basketball team for this upcoming season. They'll be today participating. So yeah, a long day of basketball, but we're here with the Logan Correctional Center staff. We got Josh Marine, and sitting next to him is Colton Amberg, placement officer. Tell us a little about what you do out there.
Yeah, so I do placement and assignment. So basically kind of work with staff on proper housing for different individuals. Logan's kind of I guess I would say kind of a funky one. We're one of the only facilities that house minimum, medium, and maximum security individuals. So just kind of trying to do our part to make sure everybody is safe and housed properly. But where I kind of work the most is in the assignments role. So I work with like programming, getting individuals into different schoolings and jobs, and kind of setting them up for when they're done with their stay with us, that they kind of have something set up that they can kind of have something to work forward to, that they don't come back, basically.
Right.
You don't want to see them back.
You want to be
right, exactly.
Them.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your background. Were you a Lincoln Community High School graduate?
Yeah, class of 2013, right up there. So I played baseball at Lincoln. I actually swam for a year or two, which was a wild adventure. But then I coached here for baseball for 9 years.
Okay.
And I coached at Lincoln Junior High, baseball and basketball.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yep, I was the assistant to Darren Worth. I assume he's probably listening right now. Yeah.
Another
that's a whole nother show right there.
Yeah. He's another.
Darren's actually my cousin.
Oh, Darren's your cousin. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, my son's the coach there now.
Oh, okay.
High,
awesome.
Right? You know Bryson Kirby?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Probably know Austin.
Yep. So I went to school with Austin, and then I coached Bryson's age.
Okay.
But
yeah, so ties to the community. When did you start at the prison?
Yeah, so I started in 2019.
Okay.
I actually was coaching here during the transition. I actually worked as an admissions counselor at Lincoln College before I went out there. So kind of seen
so
both of those.
You're just getting shuffled around here, and you're like, what did I do wrong?
Correct.
I mean, is the world out to get me? Everywhere I go, they're wanting to close.
For sure.
Maybe that has something to do with you. I don't know. I doubt it. But
between him and Eric's been through so many closures that we're like, dude, you brought this with you. What are you doing?
You're going out of state.
We even offered to sacrifice both of them to keep Logan open.
Yeah, it was on the table for sure.
Absolutely. If we get these guys out of here.
First I've heard of this.
But just kind of an opportunity came up for you to go out there. And did you start as you call them guards?
I'm an officer. Yeah.
Officer. Okay.
So I still am an officer. So actually, I have family who are also from Lincoln that work out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
My stepdad retired actually in January of this year. So just hearing about it from family, and it's an opportunity to make money while staying in the community. I was born and raised in Lincoln, so my family's here, and that's the most important thing to me, is being with them.
Yeah.
So
stay where you grew up, be around family. Were you kind of, as being rookies, 25 years ago, how long have you been there?
I came to Logan in 2015.
2015, and you've been around for
January 5th, 2004, I started in Dwight.
Okay.
And I came to Logan April 1st, 2013, April Fool's Day.
Yeah. So, obviously this, when you're going in, you're really young going in. I'm assuming you guys were too.
I was 22 when I started.
22. Going into that, it's got to be eye-awakening.
It was an eye-opener.
Nerves, not knowing what you're getting into.
For sure.
How am I going to deal with these inmates? What am I going to see? How am I going to react? That's got to be mentally,
For sure.
It's an intimidating job coming into, definitely.
It's a lot easier with proper training, too, though, I guess.
Yes, we have the best training statewide. I love it.
Absolutely.
Good
Spread them
staff,
lies.
you know.
Spread them lies. I love
My
it.
brother, my brother, he's an officer up in Galesburg.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's been there maybe 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And-
Galesburg, I believe, is Hill Correctional Center.
Yeah.
Hill Correctional Center.
They have a rough crowd
that's
over there, too, at times.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I had one of my best friends was over there for 25, 30 years. Started almost right out of high school. And, it's got to be, it's a great, the state is a
great opportunity.
Great opportunity, great, place to work, and, their early retirement.
I agree.
How old are you?
So I'm 44, and I actually
talking about retirement.
Exactly, and that's and granted we have a 2-tier retirement system right now. Okay, tier 1, tier 2, and honestly, by the time tier 2 rolls around, I don't think it will exist. I know that our union's talking that will be our big fight coming up, and that is that tier system because we don't need 60, 70-year-old officers. We don't. Granted, and that's one thing I try to explain to a lot of our new staff coming in, and I actually got asked a couple of years ago by one of our chiefs that came to Logan on an audit and asked, how do you sell this job? I said, because I go to recruiting and I go to all kinds of different things, and I deal with, kids in high school. I have a great relationship with Donnie Bowman here and stuff where me and him work together where I take kids from Lincoln High School and I bring them to our training academy for an entire day. I give them a tour, go through all the stuff we do, and even let them get a little hands-on stuff, and it's an amazing opportunity. And I explained to the kids then that basically my story, okay, because I'm 19 years old when I got a job out there. This job has provided a life for me and my family that I don't know I would have got anywhere else with a high school diploma.
Right.
A high school diploma. That doesn't happen in Central Illinois, to where you can provide for your family on a level that the state of Illinois can't.
Right.
Okay. If you navigate the job correctly. We talked about a little bit of some of the trauma and stuff that we experience and everything else, the environment in which we work, and you're absolutely right. I remember when I first started going through the academy and everything, we went to Western Illinois on a search operation because we take all of our cadets on a search operation. And I remember going there, 19 years old, and we have to do a search of the area and everything else. I was so scared when I went in there. I'm not even gonna lie. I tell our new staff all the time. I looked at this guy. He got down off the bunk. He was like 6'5". And I'm standing there at 19 years old. I'm scared to death. I stuttered. I go, you know what to do, man. And he just smiled at me. I'm like, what am I doing here? This is
like fresh meat.
Exactly. And he ended up being a super cool guy and just had fun with me and stuff like that. And that's one thing you learn in this job is, yes, we do have individuals that are just criminally minded. That there are some people that deal with, whether it be mental health issues or trauma or stuff like that, to where there's not a whole lot that I can do in that environment. But one thing I've also learned in this job, but a vast majority of the people that we deal with are just people, man. Got put in a tough situation, made a tough choice, or maybe a product of an environment and different things like that.
A lot of mental health issues,
A lot of mental health, our population, especially in the female division, man, vast majority. And that's one thing we deal with out there in a lot of our training is we are now the 3 largest mental health facilities in the United States. Number 1 is LA County Jail. Number 2 is Cook County Jail. Number 3 is Rikers Island, New York. Largest mental health treatment facilities in the United States. That's nothing but an epic failure society. But that is the job that we are tasked with now, is dealing with mental health. And that's one thing we had to learn, especially in the female division.
Yes, definitely.
Is dealing with the mental health population. A lot of those people, we deal with people that have no idea they're even in prison. No idea when they wake up that they're even there. And so to be able to transition between that and somebody that is manipulative and criminally minded and everything else, that's something that took us years, like we talked about earlier, to be able to deal with that population. And there's, like I said, I can't stress this enough for everybody listening, there's not a better staff in the state of Illinois than those at Logan Correctional Center that have done the work and that have put through all that stuff.
If you look at it from a community standpoint, because I'm sure a lot of people here are big Lincoln basketball fans.
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some former basketball players out there working now too.
Yeah.
Coach Worth, obviously, we mentioned. Maybe not Coach Al, but maybe a Lincoln coach legend.
Yeah.
He's out there working with it. You look at it from the broader standpoint, from the community, and seeing, kids that I coached here that are now working, we're working hand in hand and dealing with stuff at the facility. So it's kind of cool, I guess, for me to see just from my seat, seeing some of those kids that, I watched grow up from Lincoln Junior High basketball to high school baseball and now out there working together.
I know you. Yeah. And it makes you feel more at ease too.
Yeah.
It's just like
there's a kid that just started I'm trying to get him to stop calling me coach out there, but it's still a thing. So
absolutely. Yeah, and I did too. I had a girl that started out there, played soccer with my daughter and everything else and stuff. So it's kind of, but it's great because you come to a sporting event here in Lincoln. You come to a Lincoln basketball game. I promise you, it's like we're back at work. You walk in, it's like everybody from work is here, and I grew up playing sports in Lincoln too. I played baseball my entire time, and of course I graduated a little bit before him, just like about 2 years, I think.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But out of the prison, he's absolutely right. Like a lot of people I grew up with and went to high school with are actually out there. A lot of athletes and stuff like that. So that is keeping our families that are involved in the community in this area. Okay, and that keeps their kids in these sports, because these are, not only do we have staff members out there, we have coaches out there, we have teachers out there, their families. This is way beyond just the 500-600 staff that we have. The impact this they have families, and their families are teachers, their community involved, and that the impact on that alone. And it's not just Lincoln at all. We talked about earlier, it was 40% or so.
Around 40, yeah.
Of our staff members are from Lincoln-Logan County. Okay, so that means 60% are from surrounding communities. So don't think for a second that you live in DeWitt or Sangamon or Macon or Menard or anything like that. That this doesn't affect you. I promise you it does.
Central Illinois.
Central Illinois is going to feel the impact if this does go through. So we need the Cockva hearing coming up. We don't need just Lincoln people there. We need
not just
all
prison people. We need everyone in Central Illinois.
Everybody. If you care about the community, you need to be there.
This affects your area.
100%.
Well, let's get to Abby real quick. Abby Ingram, Records Office Supervisor. Tell us a little bit about your background.
So I'm born and raised in Lincoln as well. Graduated in 2001 from Lincoln, and my mom and stepdad both retired from Logan, as well as my father-in-law. Actually, Josh's dad and my parents were good friends. They worked together for many years. When I came to Logan in 2015, I came from Secretary of State. I worked at the driver's facility in Bloomington. Trust me when I say I feel safer at Logan every day.
I bet.
But my husband also works at Logan, and he's a sergeant. But I've held every position in the record office, starting from the bottom, working to the top. And my office handles anything that deals with the individuals in custody. We do all the intakes. We process their sentence calculations. We handle entering their discipline.
Behind the scenes.
Yes. Yep. We do all the court writ packets and medical furloughs. And I mean, essentially, they like to call us the heartbeat of the institution.
You are the heartbeat of the institution. You keep it alive. You're behind the scenes.
Yes.
And they are subject matter experts. And there's one thing I tell all of our new staff: if you have questions, there's certain people that I'm going to tell you to go to. Now, number one, as a new staff member, you don't just walk into the records office, because there's things in there that you're not privy to. They have information that not everybody can just have access to. Okay, but those are people that you need to know to be able to deal with your job, regardless what your job is out there. Those are the people that you go to. Hey, I got a question about this. I got a question about that. And those are our subject matter experts on a vast majority, because a lot of them have come from a lot of different departments as well too. We got a lot of former security that work in there as well too, so they know like the struggles of the daily, what people deal with, and just a great resource. Not, because a lot of times you think of needing help in different areas. Who can I go to where I don't feel like I'm a bother? Because that is probably one of the busiest places you can be out there. It's nonstop, nonstop. But I've never gone in that office and felt like I was a burden.
No,
you go in there. No, absolutely. Seriously. Where they go.
That's
in there
why you brought her today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Subject matter expert. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Colton and I work together a lot
daily
with the assignments, because as they earn days for these work assignments and programs, he's responsible for a vast majority of the work assignment contracts. So then he brings them to us to process, to award the time.
Lots of paperwork.
Yep.
Well, let's move on to Lieutenant McNamara. That's got a good ring to it.
Yeah, I'm also the treasurer for Local 2073. I started that 8 months ago, I believe. Abby talked me into it, basically, so.
Treasurers, and that you deal with all the
financials of the local and everything, yeah.
That don't even sound fun.
I'm the one finding signs for Lincoln and putting all the signs up around there.
Okay.
I got some helpers out there helping me putting them around, so.
So you started in the correctional industry?
I started in Dwight Correctional Center in 2004.
2004.
So I started with the females in 2004, so I've known the female population, this population, for 20 and a half years.
So where are you from originally?
Originally Dana, Illinois.
Okay.
But I live in Lexington, Illinois now, so not in this community.
So you're driving back and forth every day?
From Lexington, yeah.
Oh my
every day.
goodness.
Yeah.
Well, he makes that lieutenant money, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Probably has a chauffeur.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Drives him to work, sits out in the parking lot, waits for him to get off, and drives him home.
So, like for all those looking for jobs right now, I mean, you could be
Max chauffeur.
Yeah, absolutely. That you eventually
we can work
become
something out. Give me a ring. Give me a ring.
Yeah, well.
But in being displaced from Dwight, he didn't want to uproot his family from Lexington.
Right.
Yeah.
So you sacrificed the drive, which what? Maybe
it's about 50 miles. It's not too bad. Yeah. It's all interstate, so.
I don't like driving across town after work,
When I worked in Dwight, I had a mile drive to the prison, then I went from that to Logan. So.
And another thing to kind of piggyback off of that, Josh was talking about the effects of the community. I'll tell you that I live in Atlanta. I don't stop at Casey's very often before work, but when I do, I run into Mac. So, that's a toll as well. Just a small thing.
It got you on the show. It got you on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's just,
And that's the thing I put, because we got the conflict hearing coming up, and where we are able to put, and sign up to present there. Okay, unfortunately, it's a 2-minute time period, but we also had the opportunity to submit written arguments against it and everything else. And that was one of the areas I took, because a lot of things I deal with now out there at the prison is staff wellness. We kind of talked about that on the break a little bit, because this job can be traumatic. You experience things in this job that can change your life, and how you deal with those will determine whether or not it's a positive or a negative outcome. And so staff wellness is so important. And one of the things we really strive to push for our staff member in dealing with that is community involvement. You need to be involved. You need to be connected to people outside of that facility to keep you grounded.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that, say we move this, and somebody does either have to commute or whatever, you just took somebody who was involved in the community, and you took hours away from their day to be able to commute. So somebody that was a coach now doesn't have the opportunity to coach. Somebody that is normally there with their kids to see their sporting events now has to sacrifice that to be able to
drive
back
to work an extra hour.
Yes, absolutely. That takes a toll on people. Now, don't get me wrong. That travel time can be therapeutic for us. It really can, to be able to transition to a certain point. But everything we do out there, we are sacrificing something. Okay, so if you are traveling that far, and if they move it up to Will County, and they're struggling, and we have staff that have no choice but to go up there. Don't get me wrong, there is opportunities, throughout the state for staff members that might be involved in this, but there may be to where somebody has to travel. And one of the proposals the state put out there is they told us about places that were 90 minutes in our area. 90 minutes, one way. One way. That's 3 hours a day.
3 hours out of your day.
Out of your day, to be able to provide for your family. When if you look at the opportunity that this has right now in Logan County, Illinois, there is not an argument that the state has proposed that would contradict the opportunity that we already provide for them. There's not one out there. There's not a statistical thing that they and I brought all their documentation, so I know. I went through it over and over again, and I got pages of notes of contradicting all the stuff that they did, saying that this is just not accurate. And what you are doing is detrimental not only to the staff members out there, to the community, but also to the individuals. We talked a little bit about 60% of our population is from the southern half of the state, okay, and dealing with individuals in custody and stuff like that. Now you move people that don't have strong connections, and don't have a lot of these people are coming from environments that are negative or that are poverty stricken. We have people that come into our facility that live in a level of poverty that I can't wrap my mind around. And now we're taking their families. When connection to their families, the most important thing in the female division.
That's all they have.
Number one.
That's all they have.
Number one. All right. And we're taking that connection and moving it almost 3 hours north.
Yes.
And not only are we moving it 3 hours north, now somebody that might have to come to Lincoln, Illinois, and spend the night to visit their family member pays $70, $80 a night for a hotel here in Lincoln. What is a hotel in?
You're going to about $300.
$300 every day. They don't have that. No. So we're taking that connection away. We're taking that travel away. We're taking them away from their families, their children, their friends, their support systems, and we're moving it north. That is going to have a detrimental effect on our individuals. So everything that we do here is not just about us. It's, okay.
Yeah, it's dominoes down. I mean, it's
100%.
Yeah. Well, let's get into how the community can get involved, who you have advocating. I know Sally Turner, she's been probably a huge
yes, she's
piece
on our
in
side.
This puzzle. She's on your side. I know I get texts from her all the time about, what's coming up, So tell us, you have a meeting coming up called the
Cockfight hearing. I know Eric is actually probably a better representative of what we got going on in our connections, him dealing with our union and everything else. He's a lot more involved in that, the connection issue, and dealing with those that we have that we talk to, whether Sally or Doris Turner, and I know Howder is another one we deal with and stuff. So all those people absolutely are involved, and the community can be involved, but I think Eric would be a better one.
Yeah, the COCFA hearing is on Thursday, 5 p.m. It starts. The COCFA hearing is a governing body that it's a law that the governor has to talk to them before closing any prison. So we have to talk to the COCFA Commission, and they will take their recommendation, the governor will, on whether or not to close Logan Correctional Center. So we need to persuade the COCFA commission.
Do we know who's on this commission?
Right here.
We have their members on. Yeah, we know their members online, definitely. Yeah. So we need to persuade them that Logan Correctional Center.
Can we announce those members? Is that?
I mean, it's public knowledge.
It's public knowledge.
All right, well, let's
here's
hear.
the executive director is Clayton Klinke, and it's the Commission for Government Forecasting and Accountability.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah. So, and the
it's easier to say COCFA.
Yeah, exactly. So these are the ones, like Eric said, that are trying to keep, and the big one is the accountability. Okay, we got to keep our government accountable to the people that have elected them. All right, they are representatives of us. Do not forget your power that we have in this process. I've got a lot of comments from people and questions where they basically asked me, I've been told that this is already a done deal. And I said, that's the farthest from the truth. This is not done.
Yeah.
All right, we have a voice in this. All right, but you got to speak up.
See, and I think that
come together.
That underlies the problem. A lot of people think their voice doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter what I say.
Oh, it does matter.
It's all political. They're going to do what they want. What can they do to get their voice heard?
Well, number one, you can call representatives. Phone calls are huge. All right, the busier we make their office, the more they're going to listen. Okay,
The more we bug them.
Absolutely, it's the old adage: the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Okay, so the louder a voice you have, the more they got to pay attention to you. All right, and number one is having something to say. Okay, making sure that we are on board and doing our research and contact people as far as like, hey, what is this all about? Because we talked a little about the misinformation that is out there. Do not just get on social media and hear something and run with it. Okay,
right.
Because there's so much more to it, and we have people that are actually doing research and everything else. So contact the facility if you have questions. I promise you, we have our union that is out there that will speak with you.
Definitely.
100%. And they have people that represent them as well too. That this is all they deal with. So make sure you get the information out there to know what's going on and the impact that this will have. And that's why it's very important for them to show up to the COCFA hearing. If you have questions, you don't have to go to the COCFA hearing to say something.
Not at all. No.
This is solidarity. Okay. If we get, and they tried closing us again. We talked about earlier where in 2011 where they tried shutting us down and everything, and we marched. I remember the march. I was there going to the
fought it
courthouse.
last time, and you won the last time.
And we won last time, and we can
We need
win
to come
again.
together again and show them.
100%. And we had, I mean, back then it was red shirts. I think this time we're doing green shirts
yes.
as well,
Wear your
too.
green
So
shirt.
wear your green shirts out there. And if I want people staying outside the junior high.
We're starting at the courthouse
Yes.
at 4 o'clock on Thursday, June 13th. We're going to
And
start
going
there.
up to the
And
Spirit.
going up to the junior high school, yeah.
Okay.
So wear your green shirt. We'll have yard signs giveaway. The local Council 31 bought yard signs for us to give away to the people. So come get your free yard sign from
Yeah, I'll
at the
take one
courthouse.
of those. I'll put one in my yard.
4 p.m. on Thursday. 4 p.m. on
Nobody
Thursday.
ever drives by where I live, but you know,
As long as
still.
it's out, I don't care. That's
Yeah.
all I care about.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's plenty of public space we can put it.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
Well too, you know, and stuff. And to all the businesses that are out there advertising with the radio station and everything else, you can also help us put it on your business advertisements.
please.
Well,
because I
speaking
promise
of-
you will be impacted by this.
The Thursday night, 5 p.m. at Spirited.
Yes.
Okay. We
Wednesday.
Wednesday is Spirited. Wednesday is Spirited.
Okay. WLCN, we encourage all of our, community members to go, but if you can't, we're going to broadcast it live, so you can watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it on the Mixler app. Will it be on the radio? It would be on the radio as well.
And
So,
Troy, the owner, Troy Hanger,
Yeah,
him and
absolutely.
Bussy, owners of Spirited and everything else, and Troy is a retiree of Logan Correctional Center. I remember, he's one that helped train me when I was got out. A great guy, great community guy, involvement and everything else. So absolutely, we appreciate them and all their support and help that they're giving us as well.
And we appreciate you guys too. For
Yes, thank you very much for having us
anytime.
on.
I know they say we're a sports show, but this is pretty important. Sport, like you said, sports aspect of it as well.
It
because
impacts all your listeners, definitely.
it sure does. Is there any phone numbers we want to throw out there to our listeners?
I have a Facebook page, Save Logan Correctional Center Facebook page. Get on there, and I keep it updated with all of
all
the
your
march
contact
and hearing and where to buy your shirts.
who to
at.
contact.
Who to contact,
Yes.
yes.
So let's blow up them phone lines.
We have
And,
telephone numbers on there for state representatives. Call your senators. The phone numbers are on that Facebook page.
All right. Well, guys, you do a fantastic job. I know you don't get the credit you deserve.
Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on. You guys are very knowledgeable what you do, and that's very encouraging. And you guys aren't taking this lightly, which I love to see. You're going in with a fight, and you guys have a plan. It doesn't sound like the other side has a plan, which is
They do
good.
not.
Which is good.
It'd be great if we could get them together with us and figure out a plan
Yeah.
together.
We'd like to work something out.
For those of you
We'd love
listening,
to work something out.
Meet with
Yeah.
us.
That's another
Invite
thing.
me to some meetings. I'm your guy.
Yeah, that's another thing. Let's have meetings before
Yes.
we just throw that
Right.
out there.
Right.
And get everybody in an uproar and,
Yeah.
make it a little more difficult than it needs to be. So
Instead of announcing things with no plan at all.
Yeah.
And the plan is no plan.
Yes.
well, and
And every time we've done that in the past has led us to a court case.
Yeah.
yeah, and,
let's not do that again.
And more tax dollars
Yes.
and
Yeah.
more
More lawsuits.
unjustified spending. But I'd say you have a long road ahead of you. I hope you don't. I hope this just you guys go in and knock it out of the park.
I would love to get a brand new prison out of the deal.
Yes.
Logan,
Right.
that would be nice.
That would be great. Absolutely. And, the community as well. Well, being a sports show, we got to talk sports for the last few minutes. You guys follow baseball?
Yeah, of course.
Who's your team?
So I'm a Cardinal fan.
Well, you're out.
You see, but I'm not a Cub hater. See, my
Okay.
dad was I've been to Wrigley. My wife's a big, we're a house divided and everything else. But I'm not a Cub hater, even though both of them are not much to talk about this year.
Yeah.
Right now,
For
I know
both
Cubs
teams.
lost yesterday, Cardinals won yesterday, and everything. But both of them, towards the bottom of the pack. And NL Central's not real tough aside from Milwaukee anyways.
Right.
Aside from them, it's pretty rough division and everything else. So been kind of quiet this year.
Yeah,
We did get to a game already.
I
But
was smacking my jaw earlier in the
Yeah.
year when the Cubs
Yes.
were doing good, and now I'm quiet.
yes. And kind of, it's a long season
Yeah.
and everything else, figuring stuff out. But, going for it. I'm a little nervous about some of them and what we're going to do in the NL Central.
Yeah.
I don't see a huge representation later in the year for us, unfortunately. But it's still amazing, you know, and there's not a better environment than Wrigley Field.
Oh, I know. I love
Just not,
yeah.
you know, it's an
Wrigley's
amazing place. Yeah.
Don't really care for Chicago a whole lot, but
I agree.
I
Amen.
love Wrigley Field.
Yes.
You? Who you from?
Yeah, so I'm a Cardinal fan as
What?
well.
I mean, did you not screen these guys away?
See, my parents were Cub fans, but I remember when I was a kid, because I was actually lucky enough when I was here, and we got to play at Busch Stadium and everything, stuff like that. And I remember I even had some upperclassmen. Jake might have even been there at the time too. I still got the video because I actually got to play. And they convinced me to call my shot like Babe Ruth. I was an underclassman when I got there. So I did. I called timeout and everything else and pointed and everything. And I got walked 4 straight pitches. Never even got to swing the bat and everything else.
That's the intimidation factor.
We actually played Chatham against Jason Worth. Was there at the time. Back then he was a catcher, of course. And he did gun me down trying to steal second. I tried to think, you know, maybe the fat kid wouldn't run, but I did. And he got me. He also could throw a missile from
Did you say the fat kid?
Yeah,
back then you were,
you know,
like you worked it out.
Trying to. I just had surgery earlier this year, so I've dropped some weight and everything else finally. But yeah, trying to. But I also had to hit it to the fence to make it to first.
So, Augie Casson's the baseball coach now, and he's actually brought that back. They're playing at Busch yearly, and it's a super. As a coach, it was a super cool experience. I couldn't imagine as a player.
Unreal.
But yeah, it is a cool experience.
Yeah,
I would love to see you back then run the bases at Busch.
Dude, it was back then it was turf, so I had a little
I'm a
bit more
Braves
spring.
fan.
Braves?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's odd, but
He's got a little more respect for it.
yeah, a little more respect.
My dad is a
although you
diehard
did
Cubs
just lose
fan.
Acuna. He's done for the year. That's a tough hit.
Yeah.
But
my dad was a diehard Cubs fan. My stepdad's a diehard Cardinals fan. So.
and you said I'm just going with Braves.
Right.
Not dealing with this.
Yeah.
Thing on a board.
Yeah. How about you?
I don't even follow sports. I'm not a sports fan.
What?
Nope. Never been into sports. Never got into sports.
How about football? Who you guys following football? You can redeem yourself here.
Well, honestly,
if you said the Cowboys, you're gone.
No, not even. Not at all. Yes, she is. I'm not even a huge NFL guy.
No.
Yeah, I do. Of course, I grew up in the Peyton era, so for the Chicago and everything else. So if I had to choose NFL, but I'm more of college. I'm a college guy, and I'm a Notre Dame guy. I was a Rudy,
Hey, I like
and
it.
everything else. And not a better environment than college football and the tradition,
there
and the
once.
history. Oh, I got to go because I'm in basketball, college basketball. I'm a Duke fan. You know, of course I'm Illinois, but I'm also a Duke fan because I also grew up in the Leitner, Hurley, Hill era and stuff. And I saw that shot against Kentucky. I was sold after that.
Oh yeah.
You know, so but I actually got to see Duke play basketball at Notre Dame for my first time and everything a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was phenomenal. But that area and that university is just phenomenal. The tradition and history of the surrounding is unbelievable.
Yeah, I love college football. Yeah, I'm a huge NFL fan. I go broke during August till about end of December, and I think I know everything and throw a little bet down, and I never win. But, you got to have something.
It's crazy.
You got to have something in the game. How about you?
So yeah, you're not gonna like my answer, but I'm an Eagles fan actually.
Oh Lord.
It's kind of a wild story. I was very young when my dad actually got me a Philadelphia Eagles winter coat, and so I was probably 8, and I wore that for the winter, so I had no choice but to be.
I can respect that.
But,
Probably the #1 starter coat back then with the Eagles.
It was a solid starter coat.
I believe it. I
down to your down to your shin.
It lasted me a couple of years, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a Cowboys fan.
Oh yeah, diehard.
Well, you're just kind of the
Went to Eastern. Tony Romo.
Garoppolo. They were all just back there a week or two ago. Should have went down there and.
I know.
I think Sean Payton was there.
Yeah.
Romo, Garoppolo, and Shanahan.
Yes.
Yeah, so that'd have been pretty cool.
Yeah, but long before
Am I
Tony
going to
Romo.
ask you, because you don't follow sports?
I said it. Yeah, I don't follow sports.
I bet you follow NASCAR, though, right?
No.
Oh, you look like a NASCAR fan.
Nope, not a NASCAR either. Nope.
I just never
got any
You just
sports.
sit around and read books?
I got to play with the kids. I'm a family man and get involved with the union and work, and I don't have time for sports.
That's a better answer than us.
When I go out there and play T-ball with the little, I go out there and I'll watch them and play with them and all that, but just never got into sports. Never got in sports.
Nothing wrong with that. You know, sometimes I wish I wasn't because it consumes my life.
It's got a lot of frustration. You guys have a lot of frustration.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're always bitching about something.
Yeah, I try to simmer it down, but it's hard. You get wrapped up in the game.
And with family and everything else, being involved in sports, you know, that consumes everything. You got kids in sports, and that's your life. You know, both my kids played soccer. You know, I coach at Lincoln FC here in town for our soccer club and stuff like that, and it's phenomenal. But I never played soccer growing up. I just became a fan of the sport.
I don't even know the rules. You know the rules?
Yes. Well, I ended up becoming a ref and everything else. For you know, my son ended up being pretty good when he was younger. Ended up playing at Lincoln College, and my daughter's playing now for IC and everything. And but when I was younger, it wasn't around here. You know, it was like my 8th grade year was the first year ever that soccer was even here. I think '97 was the first year for boys soccer out here. But now I'm a huge fan. You know, I fell in love with the sport and everything else. It's phenomenal, the athleticism to it. And stuff
where I'm from, we never had soccer. We didn't have wrestling.
Me neither.
And you know, I moved to Lincoln in '96, and you know, I have no idea. My kids played little soccer, and that's just running around in a group of people.
Don't pick the ball up with your hand.
Yeah, and I have no idea what the rules are. I just kick the ball in the net.
Josh, you said you were in 8th grade in '97?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Probably born in '97.
Yeah, I was 3.
That's fine. That's fine. Wisdom, experience. I'll take all of it. Appreciate you.
It's all right. Well, guys, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
You know, we really hope things, you know, go the right way. You know, let's get the community behind us.
Yes, please. Be there Thursday, June 13th, 4 p.m. at the courthouse.
Yes.
And then
Logan County Courthouse.
And Wednesday at Spirited.
Yes.
Spirited, yep. For Sally Turner benefit.
Okay. What is the what do you call that thing?
The COGFA.
Yeah. When is that?
COGFA is June 13th, this Thursday.
This Thursday.
The hearing starts at 5 p.m. at the junior high.
At the junior high.
We're meeting at the courthouse, Logan County Courthouse, at 4 p.m. to get there in solidarity and march over to the junior high.
Okay.
So we're giving out free yard signs at the courthouse. We're going to meet and then walk over there to junior high school as one.
Okay.
So that's the plan.
That's the plan. It's a great plan. Love it.
That's the plan. Hope to see you there.
Yep. Let's get out there, support.
And also, one more thing, the phone numbers for the representatives and senators is also listed on Lincoln Daily News under the ad that AFSCME put out there. So.
You are correct, yes. I forgot about that.
And I'm sure our IT guy, he'll have all that information available on our website. I'm sure he's got graphics and everything pulled up right now. So all the viewers can see the phone numbers.
Doing a good job, Lloyd.
Yeah, he does. We don't tell him that.
Anyway, I just moved back to Lincoln this last year and moved into Lloyd's neighborhood, and it was because we found out Lloyd lived there that we moved there.
I mean, the property values when he moved in, it just skyrocketed. I don't know if I can afford this house now. You know, 5 years ago it was a $50,000 house. Lloyd moves in the area. Now it
went through the roof.
$400,000.
We're trying to get him employed at Logan to keep it open.
Well, he's a jack.
We got a spot for you. We got a spot for you.
All right, guys, great job today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, we look forward to talking to you down the road when we get closer to, you know, the whole debacle.
Yep.
But thanks again, and that's going to do it for us on the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
Live video streaming of this event is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.